Okay, so today is day one of us working on our deconstructed collage portraits. All right, so before we go into this, I want to remind you, like always, to follow along with each and every step. Make sure that you're listening and doing everything that I'm doing. And also realize that if you do miss any steps or skip any steps, anyways, or you don't pay any attention to what it is that I'm saying, it'll definitely be evident, and I'll be able to know if you're not showing any effort and not following all the steps. All right. So here is slide one. Here are two examples of what we're going to be doing. So as you can see, you're going to be making a person. The person can either be you, it can be inspired by somebody else. It doesn't really matter. The main goal is that you are successfully drawing your features and taking and showing effort with creating your collage and the layout of your face. So step one is going to be to gather your materials. Gather your materials. They will be either a black and dark colored pencil, 4 to 6 colored pieces of paper. It can be whatever colors you want. Scissors and glue. It can be a glue stick or liquid glue. Colored pencils, whatever colors of your choice, and newspaper or book pages. I suggest that your colored pencils and your colored paper coordinate and somewhat look similar. As you can see, they use blue pencils because they use blue paper, or here they use pink and reds and stuff because they use pink and red hair. All right, so those are the materials. So make sure that you have those before moving forward. Again, this is a major project. All right, so next is going to be to gather sheets of newspaper or old book pages. So I know that some people don't have newspapers in a new day and age, but everyone has some type of book laying around in their house, and I'm pretty sure that it isn't being read. So if you can find some type of book, magazine. I don't suggest magazines because they have color in them. I really want you to use something that has black and white printing, like a book or a dictionary. If your book is too small, you could do like I did here. I glued 3 different pieces together here and 5 here to make the sheet big enough so that way when I cut my head out and my shoulders that they're not small, that they're the size that I need them to be. All right. So I glued some sheets together to make a larger area for me to be able to cut out my shapes. And here you see I cut out the head, the neck, and the shoulders. I cut my head and my neck and shoulders together. You can do them separately, whatever works best for you. But you want to make sure that your head and your shoulders fill up the page. It does not need to be small. It cannot be small. It needs to fill up the whole page. So use your scissors, cut those out. Try to make them as symmetrical as possible. Meaning, if you were to cut it down the middle, that it would be the same on both sides. Same for the this area here, and that is proportionate, meaning you don't want to have super small shoulders and a really big head, or a really small head and big shoulders. Make sure that it looks normal and realistic. Next is going to be paste your head, neck, and shoulders onto the background sheet. So now that you have those cut out, you're just going to glue them down. If you're using liquid glue, make sure that you're not using too much glue, just a few dabs. Make sure and spread it out nice and evenly, so that way it's clean and flat onto the sheet. If you're using a glue stick, I doubt you'll have any issues as far as gluing it down. So what I did here was once I glued it down, you can kind of see there are some pieces hanging off on the outside of it. So I flip it over and I just use my scissors and trim off that hanging off the rough edge there. And there you are. So for today, this is where you should be. And tomorrow you will be picking back up on the next steps of your project. So far, you have your background made. And you need to kind of take a moment to ask yourself, do you like what you see? Do you need to make any changes before moving forward? Do you feel like you need to start over? Do you think you did great? Ask yourself these questions before moving forward, because once you start adding on more layers, there's not going to be a way for you to go back and fix these. So make sure that you have a good foundation before we keep going. All right.